Welcome to episode 10 of Cruising Vipur as we head out of Sicily and go into Tunisia, stopping over on the small island of Pantelleria, which is part of Italy. Beautiful rock formations here. We anchored for the night and went to explore a bit. Obviously found a heart. Hearts are everywhere. Anchoring was a bit of a chore because the bottom is mostly rocks as well. Saw this guy snorkeling with his dog on his back as we were anchored, which made our day. When we talk about living our best lives, I guess this dog really is. Dinner on the boat with a view is always an incredible gift. The sunset did not disappoint. Yet again. Off we went first thing in the morning, heading into Tunisia. Boat issues arise all the time. This was one of them. Luckily, not too much water got in. Our welcome to Tunisia by these beautiful, beautiful dolphins. They stayed with us for a good 20 minutes, I would say, just cruising along with us, rubbing against the hulls of the catamaran and just showing us their majesty. Coming into Port Yasmin in Hammamet, Tunisia, our first ever trip to Northern Africa, or the African continent for that matter. It's great that they speak French, as we were able to communicate with everybody there very easily. We went off to explore the town and find, as you can see here, there's a motorcycle with a very loaded trailer. Walking around town and seeing the beautiful buildings here along the ocean. Very touristy, many hotels in this area. This is a coin from their currency. We also took advantage of having a shipyard to have the boat taking out of the water to have some work done. The Rodriguez group did an amazing job. They went above and beyond to make us feel welcome in their beautiful country. I will admit we're a little nervous here. First time watching our cat being pulled out of the water, but they did a phenomenal job and took it nice and slowly and put it up for us to be able to live on the boat as it was out of the water and getting work done. Here you can see we are out of the water and ready to get some work done. Dinner is always a treat here. There are delicious foods, and the tapas that they bring out before every meal are almost a meal in and of themselves. Delicious olives, harissa. There was some sweet potatoes here. Just a beautiful setup. Off we went on our adventure to the Sahara Desert, passing thousands of acres of olive trees. We had an amazing trip. On our way down to the Sahara, we stopped at El Jem, the amphitheater, which is the third largest coliseum and oldest coliseum of the world. We walked through town to get to the location and have a guided tour of the Colosseum, which was super interesting. It's always interesting to visit these ancient buildings and to see what is remaining after all of these years, especially knowing and hearing about the conditions in which these structures were built. No wonder it's considered World Heritage by UNESCO. Which is pretty impressive, as it was the third largest amphitheater built in Northern Africa. Adric found a death's head hawk moth. Had no idea what this was. It's quite large. Off we went to the oasis, where we saw many medjool date trees, which I guess they have one of the largest productions. Then we headed to the Berber village, which was another very interesting place to go. Deserts all around us, and the mountain tops made for a beautiful and different scenery. Scenery like we've never seen before. We came into Matmata, which is the Berber village, where people still live as they did way back when. These structures were inside of the mountain, and it was very impressive again to see and to have traditional Tunisian lunch in the Berber huts. And we also got to go and visit the Berber village, where the people still live in the ancient ways, and it was quite fascinating to see how efficiently they lived back then, building inside of the mountain to keep the cool, because it does get quite hot here. The view was just breathtaking. This is their water well, and these women were cooking bread on the inside of a clay hole. They kind of slapped the raw dough to the sides of this earth oven, if I can call it that. Each room was dedicated to either the kitchen or a bedroom. There was a dining room, then their shower area. Again, really amazing to see how people lived and still live in certain areas of the world, and to be able to experience that in this short way. As the night progressed, we went down to the Sahara Desert and went on our camel rides. We had the most amazing sunset while there. We had an amazing experience riding the camels and speaking with our guides. They were telling us how they do 7-day trips where you walk alongside your camel, and your camel brings your provisions and everything, and they do this in the desert, which probably isn't something that I do because I'd be scared of all the critters, but I thought it was pretty cool that they do that. It gets very, very hot during the day, as they were telling us, but this night was perfect and an experience we will all remember for the rest of our lives. Look at that sunset. We are incredibly grateful for these experiences and for the opportunity to share them with the kiddos. The next morning was an early rise, and we headed out to the salt flats, which again are just amazing sights to witness as we watched the sunrise and learned about this area. Sand roses we found in the oasis that we went for a hike in. Again, incredible mountaintops, incredible views. It was very, very interesting. After this, we headed for our 4x4 ride, and along the way saw all of these wild camels just roaming around. This part of the trip was by far Adric's favorite. We got to get into an SUV, and although we are not big Star Wars fans, we headed to the Star Wars recording set, and our driver was very adamant about showing us a good time. And when asked Adric if we wanted to go slow or fast, and Adric said fast, he was all for it. This is part of the Star Wars setting. Back to the town. Again, just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of olive trees all over, which are pretty incredible to see. We did stop at a mosque that we weren't able to go into because of some events that were happening, but we went into this little shop and were able to go to the rooftop to just get a better look at the mosque. And it was indeed a beautiful, beautiful structure. This is the route that we did over our 2-day trip. And we then took a flight out to go back home for 2 weeks while work was getting completed on the catamaran, and see the family that we hadn't seen since June. On the way, our flight got canceled, so we had an extra day in France where we got to just roam around town a little bit and enjoy a little more of the French traditions before heading back for a 2-week period. More of the camel show and our experience in the Sahara Desert. Obviously, I didn't put those in the right order, but nonetheless, here they are. Hoping you enjoyed episode 10 of our travels, and I hope you look forward to episode 11.